it'd be delicious and all, like it is with meat. However, you'd get the bloating, you'd get the brain fog, you'd get the lethargicness after. It's horrible. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have another Jordan Peterson reaction video, getting more insight into Jordan Peterson's story with the carnivore diet and kind of explaining why some of the things might be happening to him and what some of his benefits are. So here we go. There's a video here from Lex Fridman's podcast where Jordan Peterson is on. Let's check it out.
I was always on the border of an anaphylactic reaction, which is not pleasant. And that's hypersympathetic activation, no parasympathetic activation. I couldn't relax at all.
That's an immunological response.
Allergic response,
Wow.
yeah. So anyways, that was what seemed... Now, this, I don't like to talk about this much because it's so bloody radical and, I don't like to propagate it, but this diet seems to have stopped all of that. I don't have psoriasis. All of the patches have gone.
Yeah.
My gum disease, which is incurable, I had multiple surgeries to deal with it, is...
A lot of the time, you do hear about these incurable diseases that people cure on carnivore. You'd think it would be obvious that nutrition would play such a huge role, but a lot of these incurable by medicine diseases fixed by carnivore. Incredible. Psoriasis as well, he's fixed. Incredible.
Completely gone.
Wow.
Took 3 years. My right eye, which was quite cloudy, is cleared up completely. What else has changed? Well, I lost 50 pounds. And instantly, and kept it off.
Should mention that I too am not a deep investigator of nutritional science. I have my skepticism towards the degree to which it is currently a science, because like a lot of complex systems, it's full of mystery and full of profiteers, the people that profit of different kinds of diets. But I should say, for me personally, it does seem that I feel by far the best when I eat only meat. It's very interesting, and I discovered that a long time ago. First of all,
how do you discover it?
So the discovery went like this. I started listening to ultra marathon runners about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they started talking about fat adapted running. So I first discovered that I don't have to run super fast to enjoy running. That in fact, I really enjoy running at a slower pace. So that was like step one. It's like, oh, okay, if I maintain something called the MAF rule, which is a pretty low heart rate. If I maintain that, you can actually get pretty fast while maintaining a pretty slow average speed in general. Anyway, they fuel themselves on low carb diets. So I got into that.
Yeah, a lot of ultra marathon runners and long distance people utilize these low carb diets. It allows them to have a more consistent energy where they can slowly use fat for energy. So stored fat as well, they can use that for energy. And you don't need to constantly, eat an energy packet full of sugar to keep that energy up, because it's a lot more consistent and you already have that stored energy on you right there. So that's why ultramarathon runners do low carb as well.
On top of that, they also fast often. So I discovered how incredible my mind feels when fasted. People call it intermittent fasting, but
that's an optimization of death, because when you fast, your body logically and obviously, if you think about it biologically, is, well, what does your body scavenge first? Well, damaged tissue. So I know the literature on fasting to some degree, and it's very compelling literature. If you starve dogs down, I think it's 20% below, rats too, below their optimal body weight, they live 30% longer.
Yeah.
That's a lot, 30%. It's like 30%.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that before, man.
Well, there is aspect to a lot of these things that make me nervous, because I always feel like there's no free lunch, that I'm going to pay for it somehow. But there's a focus that I am able to attain when I fast, especially when I eat once a day. My mind is almost like nervously focused. It's almost like an anxiety, but a positive one, or one that I can...
Yeah, I can agree with this. I think when you eat one meal a day and you feel super hungry throughout the day, your mind goes into this overdrive, and I think it's a primal or ancestral tendency, because we need to get the food, we need to get our next meal. So we need to be extremely laser focused to be able to get that next meal. But obviously we have access to food. So we use that energy and we can use that mental focus for other things in our life to be more productive. You know, we can use that energy in the gym, with our work, everything. Seriously, when you get into that kind of almost ancestral and you get into that survival mindset, amazing things can happen. Exactly what he's saying right here.
Channel into just like an excitement.
You know, I wonder how much of that's associated with, well, imagine that signifies lack of food, which is not that hard to imagine. Well, maybe you should be a lot more alert in that situation, right? Yeah. Biologically speaking, because you're in hunting mode, let's say, you know, not desperate, but in hunting mode. And God only knows, maybe human beings should be in hunting mode all the time.
Often, but we don't know that. So I wonder if it has...
Really interesting thought. Should human beings be in hunting mode all the time, or for a lot of the time, unless when you're eating, of course? I think when you look at a lot of the quite ancestral tribes around today, like the Maasai tribe, or even some of the Aboriginals or the Inuits, they're in hunting mode a lot of the time. And they're most like our ancient civilizations. So yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting point. Are we meant to be in that hunting mode, survival mode the entire time? Because, you know, that's how other animals are. Is that how we're meant to be as well? It's a really interesting food of thought.
A stress on the system that long term causes the system to
It doesn't look like it.
It seems in case of fasting not. And then on top of that, I discovered that the thing I enjoy, I just don't enjoy eating fat as much. Mm-hmm. So I love eating meat. And when you talk about low carb diet, so I just discovered through that process, if somewhat fatty meat, but just meat, I just feel a lot of the things that make me feel weird about food, like a little groggy or like full or just whatever. The aspects of food that I don't enjoy, they're not there with meat, and I'm still able to enjoy company. And
that's the thing. Eating a fatty piece of meat is extremely tasty, zero guilt, zero bloating, and you just feel incredible after. I remember when I was, you know, the same thing would happen when you ate carbs. It'd be delicious and all, like it is with meat. However, you'd get the bloating, you'd get the brain fog, you'd get the lethargicness after. It's horrible. And you get the guilt as well. Every single bite, you're counting the calories. Am I eating too much? Am I going to get fat? Blah, blah, blah. But with meat, there's no guilt. You eat till you're satisfied. That is the amazing thing about the carnivore diet. You eat till you're satisfied. So yeah, exactly what he's saying here. Completely right.
When I eat once a day and eat meat, at least in Texas, you could still have all the merriment of... You have dinner with friends. Now, I don't do this. You know, you have a very serious thing that there's health benefits that you are very serious about. For me, I can still drink whiskey. I'll still do the things that add a little bit of spice into the thing.
Yeah.
Now, when you completely remove the spice, it does become more difficult.
Yeah, it's more difficult socially. And Tammy seems to only be able to eat lamb, although she might be able to eat non-aged beef. And that makes traveling complicated too, right? Because, well, for obvious reasons. It's like, really, that's all you can eat? Yeah, well, c'est la vie. And maybe that's a form of craziness, but...
Yeah, interesting thought there, how being carnivore can be a bit difficult, but I think you really can work around it. I think a lot of restaurants have options. So when you go, you can if you want to go to a burger restaurant, you can just get the burger patties. If you go to a regular pub or restaurant, there's normally a steak there. So I think it doesn't completely ruin all options for socializing. But when you're that strict where you can only eat lamb or you can only eat beef, it will become a little bit difficult. However, the benefits are worth it for a lot of people. What Lex said about having a bit of whiskey here and there, having a bit of spice here and there, I think that's great. If that's how you can make it sustainable for yourself, that's awesome. I think that's really good. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. Check out this other video here. It's a really, really good one. I know that you'll love it. And also subscribe to the channel and like the video. So see you guys later.